Hello, everyone. I'm Plasma Warriors. You may like to call me that guy with the afro. Yes, I know it's been a while since I've had a video. Mainly, the point has been, well, there hasn't been very much to talk about. I know I need to do more on my series of what to do if you're a first time convention person, but lately the convention world has been, well, quiet, especially in Texas. There hasn't been some buzz with Akon going back to Dallas, but really that doesn't change very much. So, eh, however, this time around, I went to another convention. It was PAX South. Generally speaking, 2018 was very good. There were some flaws, but they weren't so convention breaking, say, as Anime Matsuri. But, in terms of conventions south of Austin, and basically anywhere along I 10, conventions in Texas south of that have been, to say the least, annoying, boring, or dumb, to put it mildly. Yeah, there haven't been very good ones. The only one I can think of that has been at least decent is Onicon. Still a very solid convention, but otherwise, really, PAX South is the last chance they have. The Penny Arcade Expo, of course, a web series, decides to base itself on games, decides to come up with a convention. Oh, well, comes down to PAX South, though. It's half convention, half trade show. On the trade show side, they have a lot of groups going around the gaming world. And if you're thinking you're here just for the Overwatch and the League of Legends, no, actually. I'm very surprised when they came up with this. We're talking pen and paper RPGs, board games, CCGs, you name it, PAX South has something for it. They have the remake of Resident Evil 2 on display, and that's hard to really grasp around normally because it just got announced this month, I believe. It looks okay. I don't like the dark tone of it, but I do like that they are going through the trouble of making it easier to work with. It's a very open environment, so you'll have no trouble finding something to look for. I mean, you can find whatever you want to very easily. Now, finding exact locations may be tricky. I'll get to that in a moment. But finding something to do, no problemo. How can it be so expensive realistically? And with limited numbers, it kind of felt like with $80 for a 3-day badge. That's very high considering San Japan is still going decently strong. Although if PAX South doesn't have an upcharge for like VIP pass, and I hate when conventions do that. It's so annoying because now you're upcharging a lot of things for no reason. I get people don't get to see some guests, but we're talking in general upcharges. You do get a sense of what you're paying for, though. Gaming is not cheap. Believe me, I've gone through video games to pen and paper RPGs. I had a stint in CCGs for a while. It isn't cheap. So when you get a pile of card games and board games that are that high in front of you on a table, you understand the reason. Because of the limited quantities, though, it does feel like they have more room than they really put themselves out there for. I don't understand this. They have plenty of space for more people. And I'm not just talking Saturday, I'm talking in general. So why do they limit the quantities so much? I don't know. I understand that you have to limit them. There are some fire marshal codes you really have to get down. But I just don't believe they should limit them as much as they do. Now, there are many things you can do here, and I'm not just talking straight board games or card games or even esports. There's an area for handheld gaming. You want to play like Pokemon Go. I'm sure there's groups for that. I haven't seen it as active, but I know it's there. There's an area for music jam sessions. You want to get on drums, you can do that. There's an arcade area. There's a virtual reality area. I saw Steel Battalion being played up in the console room. There's areas for PC gaming, and there's areas for GBLTQ plus. And so no matter what kind of gamer you are, you'll find something here. Although they do contract a group out of San Marcos, and I found some of the arcades to be kind of unfunctional. The Soul Calibur 2 game particularly, the controls were extremely stiff. I remember one time on specific points is when I was controlling on one side and the up switch was stuck. So that's a technical issue, but the point stands. You want to play a game, you want to find something other than LARPing. I think that's the only thing they don't quite have, as in sword fights and all that. You pretty much do it no matter what. Now, the panels, of course, were okay. They're only game related, though. Be very blunt. There's tons of industry people who go here. So I don't really worry. Is there anything for me as a gamer? Yeah, there's tons. If you got somebody a few years ago, they had Cliffy B. So they have a real industry guests like Morgan Webb and Angry Joe. So you will get people there. However, this is where I can actually say, yes, there's a problem for some people. 90% of this convention is gaming, and this is why I can see some of the issues. You like comic books? You've seen every season of Doctor Who? You have a cosplay that is super awesome and gets you all the photographs around the world? Guess what? It almost doesn't matter at all. In fact, quite frankly, everyone is here for gaming. If you aren't in the gaming world, I'm going to be fair with you, you're at the wrong convention. I am a gamer, and I love gaming, so I understand in this point why people wouldn't like it, but as for a gamer, that's great. I think the other point, though, most people forget, is that you should just get involved. If you see you're looking for a group table around, go sit down and play. It's not going to hurt you to take an hour or two out of your time to go over there. So there is that. You might not be in the same spot that you would normally typically see other conventions. Sure, you can have fun with that. Now, two problems that I actually did notice. Number one, they have a place called the Q hall or Q line, where everyone just lines up for when the doors open to get whatever reasons. I don't know. Why do they even have this? I'm sorry. There's so much this one thing takes up that it just, you have all this room and this one barricaded line is here for what reason? I don't know. For some special swag someone's handing out. They need to get rid of it. They've had it for 4 years and it's just taking up space that could be used for other things. I'll get to that in a moment. They throw it away, and then you've got at least another quarter to a third of the convention center. You have stuff you can put in there. Another problem that, oh God, why did they think this was going to be fun? They had I just didn't like it to begin with. I still don't like it, even afterwards. A scavenger hunt-like trip around the convention that you had to be put in one or two groups at random, and you had to scan your badge on it to get different amounts of swag. Apparently, this is the only way you get any kind of free swag at the convention, period. This is the fucking dumbest piece of convention stupidity I've ever seen! Why do they do this? Who wants to run around a convention scanning your badge just with a QR code on it? In fact, here's the QR code. I can show you that right there, that you have to scan this to get some kind of swag, and maybe you'll get some digital whatever. Who needs that? Honestly, it is the dumbest possible thing that they could have actually done. Who cares? All you have to do is say, hey, here's some specially made cards that you got from this group. That would work. Heck, I don't even care. You don't have to give me a DVD box set of anything. All you have to do is stick some kind of Yu-Gi-Oh card in there, and we're all set. But as I said, The note of the convention really is PAX South's lack of creating space for some reason. Sure, San Japan does grab nearby hotels, and there are a lot of after parties and events that people go to, which I understand, but it feels like they're using up two-thirds of the space and they're not trying to take a third of the space they could possibly have for the convention center. For some reason, they also don't deal with any hotels, so there's no late night programming. And to me, that's the biggest flaw. Who wouldn't want to go out in the middle of, say, 8 p.m. At downtown San Antonio and just basically draw people into a crowd playing D&D or Pathfinder? Heck, they could easily gather together enough people to have a Pokemon Go raid. Or better yet, let's skip all that and just have LARPing on the nearby like Central Park area that's small, but it has some room to do that. There's possibilities for PAX South to expand, and yet for some reason they don't do that. And yes, they had an RPG area, but it felt like that was closed off as well. If you didn't know what you're looking for, you couldn't really find it. And to me, that was a big problem. It just feels like the convention was so half full that there are other places and other things that could have been done, but it never felt like they could do it. So, overall, PAX South is a good gaming convention. The price tag is going to be kind of hard for the $80 to be justifiable with the amount you get. But I do agree, you just got to bring your favorite tabletop game, go after arcades, DDR, play some League of Legends or Overwatch, and you'll be happy. However, and this is the reason why I can understand the critique about this convention, I'm not just here talking to you as a gamer. Yes, I'm a gamer, and yes, I like conventions, but I also understand the other pieces of the puzzle, such as you're a cosplayer. You love Game of Thrones. You've read every Harry Potter book. You'll be completely lost. This will be the opposite of what you're looking for. I am a gamer, and they really love this, but they got to get rid of some stupid issues that keep going on. Get rid of the needless queue line and forget the whole swag system based on hide and seek, okay? However, this is my whole recommendation because it's this simple for me. If you're a gamer, go. If you're curious about gaming, go. If you know someone who likes gaming, go. If you want to try out different games, go. If you're a Sailor Moon fangirl or really into Marvel's Avengers, or personally have to get into that World of Warcraft fantasy fan fiction or 50 Shades of Grey, don't bother. And I can understand that. And as a gamer, I will definitely be thinking about 2020. And I'll definitely probably go to it. But PAX South is not for everybody. And that's my key notice. Is it a bad con? No, not at all. But if you're not a gamer, I can see why you wouldn't take part in it. So one person actually said that the musical acts are very good, which they are. That is something. But I'll be honest with you, game, and pretty much nothing else. That doesn't mean you can't cosplay. I did not say you couldn't cosplay. I don't mind, in fact, you cosplaying in real life outside the conventions if your job allows you for it. That's cool. I didn't say you couldn't get into Harry Potter or comic books. That's your prerogative and your fandom. I'm not fan bashing you. I'm just saying for this convention, for PAX South, you might want to consider doing something else. In any case, later.